Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Marvel Champions video. Yesterday, Fantasy Flight announced the newest character for Marvel Champions. It is Drax. So I believe that rounds out the Guardians of the Galaxy lineup. So we have Rocket and Groot, we have Star-Lord, Gamora, and Drax, unless they decide they want to do Mantis or other characters. So here we have Drax. The only card not shown in the article are his knives. So it looks like it's a one-cost upgrade. I would imagine he probably has two copies of those in his deck because usually he's used to be like even in his card here he has two knives, and throughout the most of the comics and movies he's shown wielding two knives. So the only card not shown in the article again was the knives. I believe, like at least I'm just theorizing that we're going to be getting two of those in the deck. Hopefully that's correct. But every other card here and the little card fan we're going to be taking a look at closer up. So that's going to do it for this part of the video. I'm going to switch over and we're going to look at the individual cards now. We'll be right back with those. Alright, and we are back with Drax. This is his alter ego form. He has 4 recovery. He's an outlaw and has a hand size of 6 with 14 hit points, so quite a few hit points. And we'll see why his hit points are so high in just a little bit. But after you change to this form, remove all vengeance counters from Drax, heal 2 damage from him for each vengeance counter removed this way. So he's going to have these things called vengeance counters, which he gets whenever the villain attacks him. And those vengeance counters, from what I can tell, go to they basically increase his attack. And there's also certain cards that'll cost less based on how many vengeance counters you have. I imagine we'll also have cards that will do like an amount of damage equal to the number of vengeance counters and so on. So high hit points and 6 card hand size is pretty good. 4 recovery is also really good, so you could potentially flip to this mode and heal 4. Let's say he doesn't even have any vengeance counters. Healing 4 is still pretty big, and then you're also going to be healing damage per vengeance counter removed. However, once they're removed, you have to get them back, so that kind of slows him down. I think you're going to want to stay in hero form with him for as long as possible before you have to recover. You're going to flip him over, remove any vengeance counters, heal 2 damage per counter, and then potentially also heal 4 on top of that. So if you have, I believe he can have up to 3 vengeance counters. So if you remove all, you could basically, it looks like you can recover like a max of 10 with him. So if you use the recover for 4, and then also use basically get rid of all the vengeance counters, so you get rid of 3 of them, you're going to be healing 6 more on top of that. So that is pretty good. And he's also got just a huge amount of hit points. So that is the alter ego side of Drax. We're going to take a look at his hero side in just a moment. And here we are with the hero side of Drax. So 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. He's a guardian. Hand size goes down to 4 in hero form, and still 14 hit points. Again, guardian. It says then Drax gets +1 attack for each vengeance counter on him, and it's a response after the villain attacks Drax. Place 1 vengeance counter here to a maximum of 3 if you cannot draw a card. So if you're already at your maximum number of vengeance counters, you get to draw cards, potentially going above that small hand size. His hand size isn't as punishing as I think it was Hulk. Had a really low hand size, and basically it forces you to use your entire hand on that turn, and then you had to discard it if you didn't. He does have a low hand size, but he doesn't have anything holding him back as far as like if he doesn't play something, it isn't lost. So the 1 thwart and 1 attack aren't huge, but then he gets +1 attack for each vengeance counter. So basically, with him being loaded up on vengeance counters, he can go 1 thwart, 4 attack, 2 defense. So that is Drax, the hero side. We're going to move into some of his other cards. And first up, we have Fight Me Coward. It's a 0-cost event. Generates a physical resource if you discard it. And as a hero action, ready your hero and draw 1 card. The villain attacks you. So you could potentially attack with him. Let's say you have the max number of counters. You can do 4 damage. You can pay 0, play this event, ready him, draw a card, and have the villain attack Drax again, and then potentially be able to attack again since he's now ready. So that is, you can potentially do quite a bit of damage with this card here. So that is Fight Me Coward. We're going to move into our next card. And next up we have Subdue. It's a 1-cost event. Generates an energy resource when you discard it. It's a hero interrupt. When an enemy initiates an attack, that enemy gets -3 for the attack. So let's say the villain attacks, And with Drax, you kind of want to get attacked so you can build up those vengeance counters. This is a good way to kind of mitigate some of the damage that the villain might be doing. Let's say the villain is going to be um, attacking. You can basically, let's say you're playing against Rhino, like stage 2, which does 3 damage before any boosts. You can basically attack, use this, have the attack pretty much be negated with the exception of whatever boost damage might happen. And then Drax gets attacked. Drax gets a vengeance counter or gets to draw a card if he has the maximum number of counters. So this is a good way to kind of mitigate damage. And then I imagine you can also defend with this as well. Like get attacked, defend -3, and then potentially take even less damage. So that is Subdue. We're going to move into our next card. And next up we have Payback. It's a 0 cost event. It's an attack. Generates an energy resource when you discard it. Hero response attack. After the villain attacks you, deal X damage to the villain, where X is equal to your attack. So whatever his base attack is, plus any number of vengeance counters, you can do that. Really like this card, especially because it costs 0. You can kind of combo it with Fight Me Coward, so you can attack with Drax, do damage, play Fight Me Coward, ready him, have the villain attack, and then respond with Payback, dealing the X damage to the villain, and then since Drax is ready, he can then attack again. So you can potentially, let's say you're at your maximum number of counters, so you attack for 4. You then play Fight Me Coward, which lets you ready, the villain attacks. The villain then takes 4 damage, so that's like up to 8. And then since Drax is ready, he gets to attack again. That is now up to 12. And that's before you kind of add in any other attack bonuses to him. That's just his base attack plus the attack bonuses from the vengeance counters. So Payback and Fight Me Coward, really cool combo. Really liking Payback. Basically, it's kind of Drax's whole theme is basically just vengeance, and they're really kind of like going kind of like all in on that with these vengeance counters because he gets stronger and stronger. Basically, the more damage that gets done to him, the stronger he gets. So that is Payback. Really like this card. It'll be really interesting to see this card in action once that comes out. I believe again, I think it's July. I think because it's April for Rocket and Groot, May for Star Lord, June for Gamora probably, and I believe July for Drax. Again, I'll have to check the article again, and again there'll be a link in the description to check the article out from Fantasy Flight. But that is Payback. We're going to move into our next card. And next up, we have Intimidation. It's a 1-cost event. It's a thwart event. Generates a mental resource when you discard it. And it's a hero action. When you thwart, remove X threat from a scheme where X is equal to your attack. So if your attack is maxed out, you can remove up to 4 threat from a scheme. I think Drax is going to have a few cards that are like this that'll allow him to handle threat, because it looks like he's going to be mostly kind of geared toward attack, very similar to Thor, where Thor had a few cards that would allow him to remove threat. Like I think it was like there's a card that you engage with a minion, and then you can remove a certain number of threat from a scheme. So Drax probably going to be more geared toward attack, just like Thor, but there's going to be a few cards in there that'll help you out so you don't completely just lose to the plot being completed or the scheme being completed. So that is Intimidation. We're going to move into our next card. And next up, we have Knife Leap. It's a 3-cost event. It's a skill. Generates a physical resource when you discard it. Reduce the cost to play this card by 1 for each vengeance counter on Drax, so you can get it out for free if he's maxed out. Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, you get +5 for that attack. That attack gains Overkill and Piercing. So if he's maxed out, you can get 9 damage out of this. It also gets Overkill, which means if you attack a minion, it's going to spill over to the villain, or it's going to basically like trample in magic. Like if you do 2 damage to a minion and you have a 9 total attack, you're going to be doing 7 to the villain as well. And then it has Piercing, so it's going to get around the toughness status cards, or even just straight up just discard them. So again, I really like this card, especially because it costs less for each vengeance counter. And then on top of that, it can be comboed with Fight Me Coward. It can be comboed with Payback, where you can basically just do a big attack right away, do Fight Me Coward, have the villain attack you, do Payback, do another basic attack as well. Or if you have another one of these in your hand, I don't know how many are going to be in the deck, but let's say you have 2 of these in your hand, that's just going to be a massive amount of damage. So really like Knife Leap, really liking the cards in the set that are basically just going to be doing a massive amount of damage. So that is Knife Leap. We're going to move into our next card. And next up, we have Leading Blow. It's a zero-cost event, generates an energy resource when you discard it. It's a tactic. A Hero Interrupt. When your hero makes a basic attack, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Reduce your hero's attack by for the attack by the number of printed boost icons on the card. If the attack still deals damage, ready your hero. So you could potentially, if you have a way to look at the encounter deck or know it's coming up, and let's say you know it has 0 boost icons or maybe only 1 boost icon, you can attack. You're gonna be doing a little bit less damage, but then you get to ready your hero, and then do your full attack, and then potentially again, if you have cards like Fight Me Coward and Payback, you can just basically attack, 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 attack. So I imagine it can be like you can just do again massive amounts of damage with this, because even though you are reducing your damage from the initial attack, you can then use this to ready your hero. So you do -1 damage or minus whatever to start. If the villain still takes damage, ready your hero and then attack again. If you have Fight Me Coward, the villain ready your hero, attack again, and so on. So that is Leading Blow. We're going to move into our next card. And next up, we have Hard Knocks, 3-cost event. Generates a physical resource when you discard it. It's an attack, a hero action attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, give your hero a tough status card. So basically, use this to defeat a minion, or I guess you could also defeat a stage of a villain to get a status card as well. But you defeat something, you then get a toughness status, and then it deals 4, and then you can still potentially do your normal attack as well on top of that. So that is Hard Knocks. We're going to move into our next card. And the last card we're going to look at for this Drax deck is Moondragon. It's a 3-cost ally, generates a mental resource when you discard it. It's also a Guardian. 1 thwart, 1 attack with 2 hit points. Action, exhaust and discard Moondragon. Choose a minion. That minion attacks another enemy of your choice. So, really interesting card here. So, 3 cost, has basically can attack twice, thwart twice, 1 of each. But I think you're going to be wanting to use her for her ability. So you're going to exhaust and discard it to choose a minion, and then direct that damage to another enemy, whether that be another minion or the villain. Like, let's say you're fighting a minion with a lot of health or a lot of attack. You can then just divert that to the villain. Like, for example, if you're fighting, let's say you're doing the print and play Ronin, you can have Ronin just attack another villain. That would be awesome. Or any of the other villains that just have a lot of attack. So that is Moondragon. That's going to do it for this video. We'll be back with more Marvel Champions videos whenever more cards get revealed. Really looking forward to these Guardians of the Galaxy cards. Like I said, I think I get more excited each time a new Guardian set or new Guardian is revealed. I still think Gamora might be the one I'm looking forward to the most, but Drax is looking really fun, especially just being basically almost like a complete aggression deck at this point, from what we've seen so far. But again, that's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again in the future. And I want to thank you again for watching, and take care. Have a good one.